Hey, I'm Kazuharu, also known as Kaz or Cax, and this will be the setup guide for speedrunning OneShot. In this video, I'll go over how to reset the game's data, recommended game settings, how to enable the in-game timer, briefly touch on how to set up Livesplit so it syncs with the in-game timer, and how to set up the OneShot Utility tool. If you prefer to follow a text guide, you can use Durable's setup guide doc linked in the description. Do keep in mind that I cover some stuff the text guide doesn't, and also vice versa. Anyway, let's get started. First of all, the best version of the game to run on is just the latest version on Steam, so there is no need to downpatch. Now let's cover how to reset the game's data. Hold down the Windows key and then press R. And in this window, type %appdata%. Hit enter. It'll bring you into app data roaming. Scroll down to find the OneShot folder. Enter that, and you want to delete save and P settings, and also the save backups folder. So if you care about this data, you should back it up somewhere else first, just copy and paste it somewhere. But if you don't care, you can just go ahead and delete it. So you delete save, and you delete P settings, and the save backups folder. Everything else you should be keeping, and you'll only have to do this once, as after this point you can just reset using the utility we set up later. Also, you should find the game in your Steam library, right-click it, and go to Properties, and make sure Steam Cloud Saving is turned off. Now launch the game so you can set some recommended game settings. Since you just deleted your saves, you should just be at the title screen, so go enter the settings. First, run with full screen off, because any Windows pop-ups will force the game back into windowed, which is just annoying to play with. Default movement should be run, which should be self-explanatory. Colorblind mode should be on, because it makes the remote puzzle at the very start of the game easier. Skip text should also be on, which should also be self-explanatory. And frame skip turned off saves time. There are a couple of reasons why, but we're not going to get into that. Just know that it's free time save to turn this off. The language does not matter, so just run in English. Now press F1 on your keyboard to bring up the rebinding screen. First I'm going to remove all the controller buttons just to remove the clutter. Alright, now I just have the keyboard buttons. The button names here should be fairly obvious, except for L, which doesn't do anything. Deactivate unequips your item that you're holding, and R is the text skip. The default binds are fine for the most part, except I recommend just getting rid of run, because there's no reason to use this, you just run automatically with the in-game setting. I also personally don't use any of these. I also have deactivate on D, and your text mashing button should be something you can easily hold down for the entire run, and also while you're doing other stuff. I believe the two most commonly used buttons are left control or spacebar. I personally use left control. Then go ahead and hit accept to save the changes. And then this is important, you have to hit cancel here to save these settings, and then you can close the game. If you just close the game before exiting out of the settings menu, the settings you changed don't save. Now let's enable the in-game timer. To do this, right-click on the game in your Steam library, go to Manage, and browse local files. In the File Explorer, go to View, Show, and make sure File Name Extensions is checked. That's what it looks like on Windows 11. Here's what it looks like on Windows 10. Once you have that turned on, you should notice .exe, .txt, etc. on your files. Now go ahead, right-click on an empty space, go to New, and Text Document, and name this whole thing IGT.ini. Hit enter. It's going to give you a warning. Hit yes, and now the in-game timer is enabled. Now while we're in here, find the Clover program, create a shortcut of that, and also find steamshim.exe and create a shortcut of that as well. Take these two shortcuts and put them on your desktop or somewhere else that's easy to access during runs. If you've beat the game before, you should be familiar with the Clover program. You don't actually need to use this during the run, but it does need to be running in the background to progress the game. So what runners do is they just open it before they start running, and have it running minimized in the background. Steamshim.exe is just a faster way to launch the game. The game just opens faster when you use this. This does not save in-game time, but it does save you real time, so it's just like convenient. To verify that the in-game timer is working, launch the game. And as soon as you hit start here, you should notice the timer running in the top left corner. Just like that. To close the game here, you just have to play up until the point where Nico walks out of bed. Right here, and now you can close the game. Now I'll cover how to set up Livesplit with this game. The in-game timer is enough to run the game. You don't need Livesplit, but it is useful. There are tons of videos that already exist on how to set up Livesplit and how to use it, so this coverage will be very minimal. If you want more detailed coverage, then find that somewhere else. And you can probably skip this segment if you have any experience with Livesplit already. If you're brand new to Livesplit, you can find Livesplit on livesplit.org/downloads, linked in the description, and you want to just click this one. And you will also want to go to the OneShot Speedrunning page, to the Resources tab, linked in the description. Scroll down and find the Splits section, and download the OneShot any % glitch splits. Just click that, and then click Download. Once you've downloaded both of these, first you should extract the zip, so I'm just going to use 7-zip to do that. And there we go, don't need the zip anymore. Once you have that, just go in here, and you can launch Livesplit through here. You can create a shortcut of this exe, and then put it somewhere else, so it's easier to find. Once you've opened Livesplit, it should just be a blank timer like this. Now to open the splits file you downloaded from speedrun.com, just right click on the timer, go to Open Splits, go to From File, and then navigate to wherever you downloaded the splits and double click on that. Now it should look something like this. Just to verify that this is set up properly, right click it, go to Edit Splits, and make sure the game name says OneShot and the run category says any %. When you have both of these set, you should see a load remover available here. Make sure this says deactivate. If it doesn't say deactivate, then click activate to make sure it's active. Then go to settings, and here you want all 3 of these checked, 2016 version, and then these 3 checkboxes, and you can open this menu and all of these should be enabled. The rest you can turn off. Hit OK, and then hit OK again. Now make sure it's actually using game time instead of real time. Right click, go to compare against, and set this to game time. After doing that, right click on it again and hit save splits just to make sure that those changes are saved. To ensure that Livesplit is working, you can go ahead and delete the game save data again. So Windows +R, %app data, find OneShot, and delete save.dat, and P settings, and save backups. And I'm also going to delete the Steam Cloud file. Okay. Now open the game. And now when you hit start here, the Livesplit should start. Like so. And it should be perfectly synced with the in-game timer. And you should notice when you close the game, the timer will freeze. And then when you open the game again, the timer will resume and sync with the in-game timer. Alright, now I'll cover how to set up the OneShot utility. This utility will allow you to reset your any % run or into New Game Plus. It allows you to read the safe code very easily. It also reminds you to open Clover, and it will let you create your own practice saves or import practice saves that others have made, which is what all of these buttons are. So to set this up, come to the Resources tab on the OneShot Speedrunning page, and find OneShot Utility v3.3. I want to mention at the time of recording, this update to the utility is very new, so if you experience any problems with it, any bugs, then come to the Discord and let us know. Anyway, to get the utility, just click on this, and then click on download. Once you've downloaded the zip, just go ahead and extract it. I'm going to use 7-zip, and inside should just be this one exe. You can place this exe wherever you want. I keep mine on my desktop, and just go ahead and run that. The first time you try to run this, you might get a Windows Defender warning, in which case hit more info or read more and then run anyway. If you try to run the program and you get this startup error about P settings, then go ahead and close that and open the game. And all you have to do is play up until the point you can close the game again. Right here, and now you can close the game. Doing that will create the P settings file that was missing, so now you should be able to open the program without a problem. Now I'll show you how to import the practice save pack that I made. Just come back to the Resources tab on the OneShot Speedrunning page, scroll down a bit until you find the save pack for Utility v3.3. Click on that, and you don't have to read all this, just scroll down and hit download. Once you've downloaded the zip, don't extract it, just keep it like that. Go into the utility and hit import saves. You'll get an info pop-up, just hit OK. And in the file select that shows up, select the save pack that you downloaded. And that should add all of these buttons here. So that's set up for the utility done, so now I'll show you how to use it. To use the practice saves, I recommend checking this box right here. This will automatically close and open the game when you select a practice save or reset the run. And to load a practice save, just click on one of the buttons. For example, if I want to practice Alula, I can click on that, and it will open the game right outside the Alula room. If I'm in a run and I want to reset, I can just hit the full reset any % button, and it will close the game and reopen it on the title screen like so. And I just want to note, during an actual run, you're not allowed to click any buttons on this utility. During a run, you're only reading the safe code here and the Clover reminder. Speaking of those two features, to make sure they're working, first off, to make sure the safe code feature is working, just click on the safe code practice save, and when it loads, just talk to the computer in front of you. When you talk to the computer, the safe code should update. If it's not updating, then join the Discord and ask for help. For the Clover feature, it will simply say Clover no if Clover isn't open, and if you do have it open, then it will say Clover yes. Just want to add another note that some of my other tutorials might be using older versions of the utility, so they might look a little different, but for the purpose of the run, they will do the same thing. And that should be all of the setup done. To learn how to do the actual speedrun, make use of the practice saves from the utility, and you can use my beginner run video guide linked in the description. Alternatively, if you prefer to follow text guides, you can follow the guide doc made by Bailey, that's also linked in the description. Keep in mind that both my video guide and Bailey's text guide follow the glitched any % route, which is the main category. If you'd prefer to run no major glitches or NMG, where quit glitches are banned, you can still follow these guides for the most part. But here's a list of the differences between glitched and NMG. That's all for now, bye!